we train the police in first aid and CPR because their staff, they have different cars in different areas. We use the fire department QRSs and they're dispatched on high priority calls. They're trained to do, airway obstructions, CPR, deal with the initial.
I mean, I think maybe this is something we really need to sit down just with fire departments, police, and EMS and make sure that we're all on the same page to service Cecil Township the best that we can. Because I don't want someone to needlessly die because, you thought the police were going, the police thought the fire department was going, and in the end, nobody showed up.
Well, with a 911 system, you're not going to do that. If they dial a 10-digit number, which a lot of your residents do because they want a particular ambulance service, they're going to go to some dispatcher in a private ambulance company that we don't know where that call goes. However, when you're dealing with a 911 call, it goes to the nerve center of the emergency. Immediately, if it's a high priority call, the police are notified, the fire department goes out on particular high priorities, and we're notified. And they wait for responses to see if our trucks are en route, and if nobody responds, which, would only happen if we're out of radio range, which is an issue, but, they will start bumping to another.
You have one truck in Cecil Township. So what happens if that one truck is on an emergency?
Depends on the nature of the call. So if somebody falls and has hip pain, and I have a truck up in Bridgeville, I'll probably send that truck to handle that.
And what if there are 2 heart attacks in our township?
We call the next closest service regardless of who it is.
You do what?
We call the next closest service regardless of who it is.
So we wait while that time is being expended. I think
You have to wait. The system, if I put 6 ambulances out there, I'm going to get 7 calls at once, and I'm going to have to give another call away. The way the business works, if Cecil number 3 is on a fire and they get another fire in their district, they have to do the same thing we would do with an emergency call, only they do it 20 times a month, we do it 100 times a month. They get 20 calls, we do 100, so.
I don't know that the answer is to use a whole bunch different, I know Andy had asked you for response times, I think that's important.
I just randomly picked a couple months so we could just try to go with.
And I think that maybe is a first start.
I think we need to do that with 4 providers.
What 4 providers are
There are 1.
Southbridge?
Southbridge is 1. Cannonsburg is another. Fort Cherry and Peters Township. Peters Township handles Hill Station, Lawrence, and Pacific Coast.
I will tell this board the same thing that I've told the board for many years, and that is the financial feasibility and our ability to keep a unit in this township is based on volume. Because you don't give us any money, our ability to stay here and provide that unit, because it costs $250,000.
Can I be honest with you? That makes me a little bit nervous because I'm concerned that you would hold on to a call and I'm not trying to call you out, but just the mom in me hears that and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what if something's wrong and I'm calling 911, but you're already on your way to the hospital with somebody else? Are you going to call somebody else to come and take care of?
I'll tell you all the giveaways that I give. I mean, we are transparent. There's nothing that I will keep from you guys. And the one thing that I will show you is how many calls we've given away. And those are calls we didn't feel that we would have the appropriate response time for the condition, 4 units available.
Right.
I'm not one.
I think until we get that data, I think we're just speculating, but I think that that's important data to see.
Not a problem.
Go ahead.
As far as this conversation's going, I mean, we could talk about this all night, but what you people want, you need to figure out that it's going to cost us $250,000 a year to have 24-hour coverage 7 days a week. You should figure that in your budget. If that's what you're asking him to do, then he can supply you with the truck. I'm sure he can supply you with the truck in the township.
No, we're
If
not.
you give them $250,000 a year.
We're not asking that.
Pardon me?
We're not asking that.
Well, that's what you're insinuating.
No, I'm not, and I don't think Cindy is either. No, we're not. You're
Well, you wanted response time of 10 minutes, and
Less.
They want 5 minutes.
you're asking for an impossible thing. Just like you said, you're not giving the medical service no money. You can't demand that they be there in 5 minutes. That's my theory of it.
I don't agree with that, I'm sorry.
Especially if he's out on another call. How can they be two places at one time?
In the past, we had 4 companies.
Well, then that's when you gotta get 4 companies into the township.
Pardon me?
Then that's when you gotta get 4 companies in the
Well,
township.
that's what we had. That's what we had. And the response time was very good because they were closer to the patients or to the potential.
You remember, Canonsburg, everybody used to pay a subscription to Canonsburg, yep, and they pay for a subscription to
Sorry, I
the,
can't hear
I
you.
would still like to sit down and meet with you like we discussed for a little bit, okay? I think that's a first step to talk about it a little bit.
Sit down and talk.
But that's something all we discussed with the fire, possibility with the merging or new buildings, making room for either EMS to be on site in a better part of the township or have better facilities. So let's not forget that in the big picture. We might be able to help each other out here because we're only concerned about the township getting the coverage, medical and fire, what they need. But they need, they need help too, or whoever does. I mean, we have to have a plan.
I mean, you gotta look at it, what the county is doing. The response time back then was quicker, but you had a quarter or 50% less people, less houses.
Yeah.
So,
And less
you know,
traffic.
You gotta look at,
I
you wanna look at the big picture of everything.
What did you
gotta
say,
look
Buggy? Less what? I didn't hear the word you used.
I said, you're looking at the big picture, that the whole county grew. You can't go by what the response time was 10 years ago with 4 services in there.